Hey, it's Mark. Let's just jump right into the trade I made today on Hood. So I was talking about Hood for like a week or two now. Like I was looking at it back here in kind of like the middle of November when it hit this support level that it's held for gosh over a year now since like July. Well, actually, really in May, it found support back in May of 2022 at about $8 or like low eights. Actually, that was 9, but let's see. Yeah, there's 810. Yeah, 805 was in July. So it just kept finding support there on that level. And when it looked like it had bottomed out there, I put on these $10 calls, and they were really cheap then because it was like almost a month ago or so. And I kind of had this line right here sort of in the back of my mind because I was watching it this morning, and this channel level, this resistance level was kind of what I was looking at when I was looking to take some profits. So it was about 120 area, and I was watching it in the morning when it got up to like about 119, 118, started to like stall out a little bit, and it was like a really good candle, but I just had to lock it in right there because it is at resistance level. So, and it looks like the volume was really good, so it may push through, but it's just one of those risk reward things. You just gotta manage it. Or I just call it like I call that like position management, and it's kind of one of the main things. You gotta have manage the positions right. Like if it involves scaling or not scaling in and out, and you gotta have execution, and basically you have to be mindful of the levels and everything. But the thing is, like if I hadn't seen that level in the past, I might have just held or sold yesterday. But it was kind of it interestingly went up, like a lot higher. But that's just the way it is sometimes. I mean, it's literally up four days in a row now, and a good percentage gain each day. So it's time for a pullback anyway, and it very well may have a pullback here. But so I finished that trade with about, it was like 1,000%, 1,300% on those calls, and hopefully it comes back down so we can buy some more. But looks like I think there's something going on. Like a lot of institutions have been buying Hood lately, so they may well just keep it up for a while. So, and it kind of had it did a nice little down channel too that whole time. Like there's the upper part, and that was the only thing really interesting I did today. The TLTs just continues to go like I was saying yesterday. It's got a lot of momentum here, so it's even breaking above that channel level. So, which is kind of surprising for it. It usually respects the channel levels really well. So that just tells me that there's just a lot of buying going on. So, I mean, I like it more on a pullback really. So I'm not gonna. I might be looking at calls if it pulls back, but it needs to pull back a lot because it's got that channel support there. It very well may bust this up, and it may negate this channel support totally, or these levels. But it tends to, pretty much always has a pretty definable channel. And oil was down a lot too. Like I probably could have put that trade on because I really like to trade breakdowns and breakouts in oil. Like I'm not really into trading it when it's range bound or not just totally breaking out or breaking down. But now it's like it's got a good momentum chart now. So, I mean, it's really, really strong breakdown momentum here. I mean, the USO is down 4%. It looks like the futures kind of gapped up a bit, almost. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of holding. Futures are holding now. So yeah, it does. I mean, it does kind of seem a little oversold, maybe short term. And the CHPT reported, of course, the revenue is down, but I didn't see any reaction in the stock like from my data feeds or the data I was looking at. I'm not sure when they reported what time it was, but it's usually like after close is when companies report, like 4 something. So, but the BLNK just continues to be a monster on the short side. It's down again, and I really think it's just gonna keep fading and fading until it hits the lows again, which is like 220. And I'm pretty loaded on puts on that one. And the EVGO is kind of holding in there. Like, I imagine that one's gonna roll over next, even though this one the revenue growth on this one was the best out of all these over the past, couple of years or so, or a few years really. Maybe going back farther, because I looked at it a long time ago, like I think in 2021, 2022, and they had really good revenue growth, but that hasn't really mattered for these companies now. But my hunch is that this sort of uptrend is gonna break. And you can look at the volume. It's a lot of volume there. Sell volume. Looks like it kind of. I think the top was in around there. So, and the BLNK. Yeah, that one's just a gift that keeps giving, really, on the short side with puts. And shorts are in control. Like, look at the volume. It's like a ton of sell volume on today and yesterday. I'm always looking at these volume bars. So I found some interesting supernovas today. Like, a lot of stuff was running today. So we got probably the best one that I found is the CHSN. I ran through some gap down scans and didn't see anything in the gap downs. So this one's kind of neat. This one's a nice little China stock. That's I mean, nice as because I want to short it because it's a good short, but looks like there's not even any history on it. Like I guess it was an IPO or who knows? I doubt it. But anyway, it's up from like $1, $2 to $6 in like 4 days. So it's a really good. It's one of the better short setups right there. Supernova short setup. And yeah, it's way above the upper Bollinger Band too. So that's nice. And the other one I found, there's another one too, at least a couple. Well, the MLGO is crazy. The MLGO is up like 300%. So that one's most likely gonna already gap down in the morning, and it'll most likely have another little red day tomorrow, and probably a couple red days at least in a row. So that's a good short too, because it's more than likely gonna, come down from here. And this one, I think this one looks like a SPAC or something. Like I was just looking at the name, but it's a good short setup too. you know, as long as it's red on the day. And I think there was one more. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there right now. Like this Cassie's, totally missed that one. This one went from like $2 to $6, and probably some legit drugs in the pipeline or something, or something coming. But that's been like a really good Momo stock the past like 3 months, and I totally missed it. But there's another one too that's kind of catching my eye here. Well, this one's not up enough, but since I talked about it, let's talk about it here. It's THRD. It went from like 6 to 11, which is pretty good, but it's not really supernova. Like I preferred if they go up like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 500%, you know, in a month or less. And I think that's about it for the supernovas. I went through the 52-week high scan, didn't see anything crazy good. My Momo scan had some interesting stuff. Like that's where I found those initially. Yeah, so yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at my under one Momo scan, and then I sort it by RSI. So high RSI, and yeah, the alt's another one. It's kind of like supernova, but that stock rings a bell as a good company. So I don't think that's a good short here. I mean, it easily can have a pullback, but it's just like that Chinese one's a better one to short. And yeah, you can see there's a lot of stuff that's actually moving pretty well. And then in a second, I'll look at some indexes. Yeah, there's nothing really cooking here. So let's look at the indexes I've been looking at. Like I'm just looking at my watch list here, and I've got pretty much everything's flat except XHB. Oh yeah, the any was interesting. I thought it was gonna do like a move down and then just like another run day, like another spike, another day. So I bought some calls, and I took a slight loss on the calls because I bought them at like 170 or something, or when the stock was at like 170, and it almost came back and did like a squeeze. But this one's a Bitcoin miner. I didn't realize that before. It's kind of like a late hitter because the Bitcoin's been going. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen a lot of the Bitcoin mining stocks squeeze or pop. But yeah, this one's still kind of got the momentum going, but right now this tells me it's probably gonna try to do a flag and just come back down. But it's still kind of like an inside bar, so you never know with these stocks. But it's still interesting if it breaks out. Well, actually, Mara's been going, and Riot, I guess, too. But nothing really crazy move-wise. Because I had the CAFR is one of my favorites because it's like really high short interest, but hasn't really participated. I guess the NE is probably the best one now. So yeah, I just looked at my scan and saw Land's End actually was up a couple days there. This one's a really old like catalog company from like the 80s, or like at least the 80s and 90s. I mean, they're really popular like in the 90s and before the internet. And they used to have this is like a mail catalog, like Sears or something. And it's really good quality stuff. And Of course, they've been struggling for a long time, you know, but surprisingly, they held in pretty well with the internet, you know. But yeah, I see. I already have these lines here. We got a trading range, long trading range, and about, yeah, like 6 somethings is the support. And what do you know? It caught support too. Yeah, it's got a lot of clear support there. Like, and it found it again. So I wouldn't be surprised. This one probably looks like it's going to go back to 10, but it's not really. There's not really much of an edge. They don't really have a lot going on, but it kind of tells me that the appetite for stocks isn't that bad if stocks like this are kind of holding in there. You know, I mean, I think a lot of people wrote this stock off a long time ago. It's kind of like one of those like old relics, like Barnes and Noble or something, or Borders bookstore, or those, all of the brick and mortar stuff. Kind of just technology just, you know, evaporated their moat, or whatever moat they had. And just trying to see what else that I've been talking about. Yeah, so the XHB is still pretty crazy. Well, there we go. Did a shooting star candle today, so it definitely needs a pullback too. So that might be the top there for at least a while. I mean, you look at the measured move from the channel range, it's about the same as that last time. So let's see. That's our support channel, support level. Yeah, it's probably gonna come back to that, but it looks like it could be like a top because it just printed that shooting star. Let's see what SPY did because it's kind of tracking that a lot. Ooh, SPY has a nasty candle today. It's a pretty nasty one. Yeah, I'd be surprised if that comes down too. I mean, you look at the charts; they look a lot like, you know, Nvidia did, and like these, like the semiconductors. Excuse me. So yeah, that's kind of like the S&P was like where it is right there. And well, look at that the semiconductors, it tried to reclaim that level there, the high, and failed. That was a pretty big level. Yeah, so it's not looking too good. Even though the stuff wasn't down a lot today, that's a pretty nasty reversal there. Same thing with KRE. Wow, that's like the epitome of a shooting star candle. It's really perfect. The shooting star for sure. I wonder if that was the market close or if it's the after hours print. But I guess it doesn't matter because it's the print for the day. Pretty nasty. I mean, wow, that makes me want to really that's a setup there really, like, at least to have it come back to channel support. So if we're super red tomorrow, maybe I might put on some puts, maybe in KRE, or let's see what IWM did too. Oh yeah, IWM is the same. Maybe I'll do IWM. It's usually pretty more liquid. But you see, it's respecting these channel levels really well. Like it touched it there. I'm looking at this line there. So it touched there, basically touched there, touched there, touched there. So now it's just time. I think it's time to come back down to support. But we'll see. Market's been surprising, but let's see what else. I guess we can go through some more watch lists. I haven't looked at some of these in a while. Let's see what the office REITs did. Yeah. Kind of mixed there. Yeah, ABR is kind of like ABR is at the top of that down channel. And that's really a good spot for ABR to put puts on too. Because you see it was red when a lot of stuff was green. Like these are all REITs for the most part, except Ally. Ally is a big car loan holder. They have like the most car loans in America, or one of the top ones at least. I'm pretty sure it's the top one, but they bought the GMAC years ago, so it's basically it's like an auto loan company. They got a bunch of auto notes, and that's the payments on those are crazy, right? So let's see. Yeah, it's interesting how it's kind of mixed in these office REITs today. Next stuff we got. Yeah, I really thought my this BKSY has been kind of slow. It was kind of the same. There's another channel support play. I bought calls. I guess it was here or here, like months out. The 150 strike, and it's just been slow. But I think my hunch is it's gonna come back too, because their revenue growth is just incredible, and it's in the defense sector too, so that's been really hot. So I'm kind of surprised it's not up a lot. But I mean, you look at the defense. This is the aerospace defense ETF. I mean, it's basically took out 52-week highs. It's like highs from back in like 2021. It hasn't been at these levels since 2021, pretty much. So yeah, it's been, of course, really good, and the momentum is really strong still. Like, I mean, this uptrend momentum is really strong. So, because I haven't looked at a lot of these aerospace, but yeah, Boeing's kind of the same thing. I mean, look how tight that channel is on Boeing. Wow. Yeah, it's just like almost like every week it's just up a ton. But we got resistance here, so it's probably a good spot to stop it if they're gonna stop it for a while. Yeah, that was interesting how it traded really well on a channel on the downside too. Like, see that channel there. Well, there was a really tight. It got tight there. And I'm still in the sandstorm puts too. Like, that level is just looks like it held really good, and it's just gonna come down. Yeah, I was looking at the dollar earlier, like in the week. Yeah, it's just kind of choppy now. It's not really a trade there. I mean, oil is probably the most interesting. I was looking at China too. I think that Evergrande stuff like is just starting to hit now. Is like taking its toll. So, I mean, yeah, it's a huge breakdown now. I mean, it's almost like crashing. That one day is pretty good down day. I mean, it doesn't have support till like $20 on this ETF. I was really thinking about. I was looking at puts the other day, and then I had the other stuff, but yeah, this momentum is pretty strong. The other one I'll look at is KWeb. So I was thinking maybe K-Web's actually better because it's got more to come down. It's not at lows yet, but it could just remain choppy too, you know. So it's kind of what it likes to do. Like that's a level there. It's held a lot. So maybe if it breaks through here, it's a good short. But I mean, there's really better stuff out there, like these charging stocks and stuff to short. Yeah, and this one, the emerging market ETF. Yeah, it doesn't know what it's gonna. It looks like it's trying to come back down to these lower levels, but it's pretty choppy too. So let's just see if there's any more watch lists that I haven't gone through in a while, and then let's call it a wrap. Yeah, uranium. Yeah, the uraniums were doing pretty well. Yeah, they're just really slow, but still uptrending. I mean, NXE's kind of still holding that breakout level. What else? What was that one? Oh yeah, Wayfair. I mean, yeah, it's another good spot. It's a good spot to short Wayfair because it always tends to go down, you know, eventually. So I remember when it spiked up the other month. It was like just like a gift short. It was like that was a short right there, like the gift. And we got a little bit of a there's a support level. Yeah, so it's about right on support. We see it kind of did, like that was a bull flag there, and then it could be a bull flag because the sell volume is pretty light there. There's not really much sell volume on this flag. So yeah, I'm more inclined to think that's a bull flag really, even though it is a piece of crap company at the moment, kind of. I mean, like yeah, like Zillow's going up, you know, like with XHB, but not quite as much. Housing ETF. Yeah, it's not really much else cooking tonight, but I'll just call it a wrap there and catch you later.